I just want to thank all of you for coming and spending some time with me this afternoon and for Judith this evening. We're just having an informal discussion to highlight the way NCC has spoken into your lives and into your family's life. And perhaps you can just share some things about NCC that have impacted you. My name, for those of you who don't know me, is Lesley Buren. I am the Enrollment Director at NCC. I have been at NCC since 2014 in the Enrollment Department, and I've had the pleasure of working with all of you in different capacities through enrollment. And my son is a graduate from the school, and so I deeply love and care for this school as well. And I too feel it's a wonderful opportunity for students. So I think to begin, I'd love for you to introduce yourselves, just share a little bit about your name and maybe where you're located, and then we'll go from there after you do that brief introduction. So I'll start with Judith Mugabe, and Judith, why don't you just introduce yourself?
Thank you. I'm Judith Tusime Mugabe. Tusime is my maiden name, and Mugabe is our family name, my husband's name. And I am from Uganda. I'm presently in Uganda. And I'm a mother to Ethan Mugabe and Keza Bridget Mugabe.
Thank
I
you.
think that's it. Yes, I have more children. I have more two children. I have Adrian Mugabe and Brian Mugabe. They are bigger. They are all doing their masters now in the UK.
Oh, wonderful. And both Ethan and Keza most recently graduated 2025
Yes,
from NC,
yes.
and Ethan
Mm.
graduated in 2022. That's correct?
Yes, that's very correct.
So you'll be answering some questions from the parents' perspective,
Okay, please.
and
I
how
will try.
and how NCC has impacted your children. And Josiah, would you like to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Hi, my name is Josiah. I am an alumni of 2020, the year of COVID. Um, yes, I'm 22 years old, and right now I'm residing in Kelowna, BC, and I've been here ever since graduation. So it's going on 5 years, 5, 6 years. Yeah, yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you for that introduction. And Josiah, you're in Kelowna. What are you studying in Kelowna right now?
Yeah, so I did the Bachelor of Science in Nursing and then Chemistry at UBC, Okanagan. I did that in about 3.5 years, and right now I'm working as a registered nurse in KGH, Kelowna's hospital. Right now I'm studying to get into medical school, so I'm taking some extra classes and doing some research at UBC.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing that. And Orafiri, you're a current student of NCC, and why don't you tell us what grade you're going into and what you're doing currently this summer?
So I'm Orafiri Ibisiki. I will be going to grade 12 at NCC, and I live in Canada, but I'm originally from Nigeria. And this summer, I'm actually doing a pre-college summer program at Johns Hopkins in the US. So yeah.
Good for you. Well, wonderful. So thank you again for joining us today, all of you. And the purpose of our discussion, as you know, is when parents are looking for a school, a private school to send their children, they really want to get to know about the school. They want to hear personal reflections and testimonies of how the school has perhaps affected or shaped the student, and how it has impacted the student and their future. And so we're going to have a little bit of a chat, and I'm going to ask a few questions, and I'd be pleased for you to share your thoughts on that. So I'm curious to know, I guess, from a student's perspective first, If you were to introduce NCC to somebody, if somebody said, "Oh, I've heard of this school. Can you like tell me about this school?" Maybe you can share, what would you say to that person? What would you tell them about NCC? Maybe some of the highlights. So maybe I'll ask Josiah that question first. I'll put you on the spot first. And how would you introduce NCC to somebody?
Thank you for that question. Great question. When I think back to NCC, I think of very fond memories. I think one thing that stands out would be family. NCC's like main core value is like family, building, fostering a community, and that's exactly what I would say. The staff genuinely care in all aspects, like whether you would say like the teachers, the faculty, anybody who works there, the administration, they genuinely care about you and know your name and know about you and are interested in you. So it's definitely a family. You're not just a number. Along with that, I would say Christ-centered care, Christ-centered values are lived out daily. Like I'm gonna talk about a few other things like in school where we do like morning devotionals and things like that. But yeah, I just think very fondly on like NCC's family values, welcoming community. Yeah, and it's a place where everyone belongs. Like I remember coming from a public school to NCC and kind of getting caught off guard, being like, this is very different than what I'm used to. And I'm like, it like made me a little uncomfortable. I'm like, like everyone's like coming up and asking me like, how are you? How are you doing? Where are you from? Like personal, community, family. Absolutely.
That's awesome. So Orafiri, would you concur with that? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I completely agree with Josiah in that NCC is such a wonderful community. And I think that's what I was gonna that's all I can really say too, is that even though we're like a really small community, it's also an advantage because we're really tight knit and everyone knows everyone. And it's a really cool, like big family we have at NCC. I think it's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. And Judith, you have introduced NCC to a number of people, and you have been a very big encourager and supporter. So, what did you tell people? How did you introduce them to NCC? What did you say?
First thing first, I like the location.
Okay.
I love the location. As we were driving through, coming to the school along the river,
Yes.
it was so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where I'm going is the best place I should take my children, because I came with them first time when they came.
Yes.
The eighth year, for example, Keza, and that was 2020.
Yeah.
They started from home. So 2021, we decided to come. So as we were driving before I even reached the school, I loved the location.
Right.
So whenever I am telling someone, I will say you will first love the location before even you reach. So the location will give you an expression how good the school is.
Mm.
And then another thing is the way the staff. We are communicating with Miss. Why have I forgotten the name? The one who is for admissions.
So, are you speaking of guidance counseling or for university admissions?
No. The school admissions.
Well, it could have been me, or it could have been one of my other colleagues. But so the enrollment department. So
yeah, enrollment department, exactly.
Yeah.
Those people is like I knew them. They could communicate and tell you this, everything. So the time we went there, we knew everything.
Wonderful.
And another thing is this the school is like a family indeed. It's a small school. Mm-hmm. With few students in classes. Mm-hmm. And you find that the students are not struggling a lot. They have people to help them. They are not left behind. That way of dealing with students alone was good enough for me to recommend other parents take their students there. because you may find that most parents want a school that will completely continue following up students and not leaving them behind. So
Right.
I was telling them, I could tell them that that is the only school that you can take your child, and your child will be followed up, and he will come out well. So the way the staff does it is good enough to recommend other people, and then the school itself with the students themselves and the staff themselves, the boarders themselves, it's like a family. So
Yeah.
I would that's how I really said it. I told them, please, I would tell them, I still can tell others that if you take your child there, she will be well handled. So
Thank
I
you.
love, I love, yeah,
Well,
sure.
for those who don't know, NCC is located in Fort Erie, Ontario, and Fort Erie is about 15 minutes from Niagara Falls, or about an hour and a half from Toronto. And so we are located. NCC is located on 120 acres of land, very sprawling campus, but we are in a rural area, so a quiet area. And as Judith said, located along the beautiful Niagara River. And so the view of the Niagara River being in the scenic location on a sprawling campus, it is a big change because, you know, some people are coming from a larger city center, and they come and it's instant quiet and quite peaceful and tranquil. So even as a staff member, it doesn't get old. The view of the river and just that the natural beauty of the campus, it's very special. Yeah, I think that is something that many students and parents feel when they come to NCC. So both Josiah and actually all of you touched on the family-like environment. So that is actually part of our mission statement. So the NCC's mission statement says we are an international community of schools to educate students with excellence in a family-like environment, equipping them to grow God's kingdom and empowering them to make a difference in the world. And so that mission statement of being in a family-like environment. Now, NCC is a school of less than 100 students. So as compared to many high schools or private schools, we are a smaller environment. So we have a student ratio of about 8 students to 1 teacher. And so there is a trade-off to being a smaller school. A lot of one-on-one, a lot of care. Josiah, you spoke about that care and the Christ-centered academics and Christ-centered focus. Maybe you could share a little bit more about how that maybe impacted you, Josiah, as an individual or a student, and how that impacted you moving forward in your life.
Absolutely. That is a really loaded question,
Yeah, I
but
know.
I'll
I'm
try to
sorry.
touch on it. No, it's okay. I'll try to touch on that as much as possible. I can only do this kind of by comparison because I came from a public school that called themselves Catholic, and they had different services in churches, but within the academics, there wasn't much of that value, right? You'd have to take a class that maybe told you about God or religion, but outside of that, there's no what is it called? Sorry. Like there's lineage, like it wasn't like throughout the entire
Okay. It
entire
wasn't
academics.
threaded
You
throughout.
understand?
Yeah.
Spread it throughout. Yeah, that's a great word. Um, our first period teachers, they were responsible for doing the devotions with us, right? So they would set off uh, the school day with just devotions and words of wisdom and just pieces of advice that we can carry throughout the
Yeah.
day. And one thing that stuck with me was praying before every test. The first time I seen that happen, I was like, what is going on? Because all my teachers previously in my other schools would just hand the test and say good luck. right? But actually asking God for like the wisdom, asking God for clarity, asking God to relieve the anxious thoughts so I could actually do well on my test, right? Help me remember and like, and that helped me throughout university in total. That's something I took with myself. Before I would start my test, I would sit down and pray and like, God, clear my mind, allow me to have the intelligence that you gifted me with, and just that calmed me. So I'd
Nice.
say NCC really fostered me with being able to merge my academics with my religion and make it a habit, right? So yeah, I would say they did an amazing job, along with ASP too. ASP is, for those who don't know, I'm not sure if it's still going on because NCC likes to evolve and do
Yeah,
different things.
right.
But that is another thing that I valued. Um, so ASP was academic study period.
Yes.
So it's kind of like a mini study hall for the local kids,
Mhm.
which allowed you to like learn different life values, learn about uh, like like different types of scripture, and also have a time where you can just sit down, ask questions, and do some homework if you really needed to. So yeah.
Thank you. So Orafiri, we've touched on that NCC is a smaller community. Maybe you can just share how the teachers connected or are with you in a meaningful way. Is there something that you can share about that?
Yes, absolutely. I think the teachers at NCC are absolutely amazing, and I don't think I've been to a school where the teachers are as caring or as involved in my life as at NCC. And I think specifically, like Josiah said, the devotions in the morning, it really fosters that like connection much beyond the classrooms, like on a more personal level. And
Mhm.
like I feel like my teachers are my friends at NCC. It's like we're that close, like there's that much of a bond, and it's you can talk to them on the lunch line or you can talk to them during break, and it's not just in class. You're like talking to them about assignments. You can talk to them about anything. I think that's really amazing. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yes, and I think too that teachers just they are very intentional about getting to know each student and knowing their strengths and maybe knowing their weaknesses.
Yeah,
Judith,
absolutely.
yeah, Judith, can you speak into that strength and weaknesses a little bit? Did you see from your children's experience where the teachers were very intentional with your children in their academics and helping them to achieve the results that you would hope?
Yeah, in fact, I wasn't very active with the teachers, but I would follow on EDSB
Yes.
and I would see how they were really intentional on the children. They
Yes.
could report anything that the child has not done, if they
Mhm.
haven't yet handed in their work, or if they haven't finished their whatever, they would all be posted on EDSB. And okay, I knew Keza especially, and Ethan. Ethan was there 1 year
Mhm.
and he left. And but for Keza, I really followed. I could follow up and
Yeah.
see, and she does the work, and I see how the teachers were serious with her, and I also see how serious with books, with all the subjects, and how she was she took whatever was not going well. She could tell me, "Mommy, I'm going to see the teacher this time, and the teacher has given me this appointment. I have to go." And then I just encourage her, "Please don't miss the appointment. Make sure that you go ask what you haven't understood." And indeed, that's what she could do. And the teachers could really do the same thing. Academic-wise, with NCC, me, I have no question about it. They really did a great job.
Well, that's wonderful, and the uh, the appointments and the follow up of the teachers. We have a student services department, and so students are able to go and see teachers after school. We have free tutoring in math and English after school, a drop in. So there's always ways that students can get that extra help. With their teachers. And I'm sure that, Orafiri, you've had the opportunity to connect with your teachers for extra help too. I'm sure that's been part of
Yeah,
your.
I have. And I've actually helped out with pet tutoring as well. So that was really fun.
Yes. Oh, that's good. So I'm interested to know what maybe a highlight would be for you, or a theory of NCC and your experience so far. What is just something fun or just a highlight for you?
I think my highlight at NCC was definitely, so I was part of the P leadership class, and we got the opportunity to plan a week of a
Mhm.
wellness week for the school. So, and I think the way the teachers let us like have our day, like they weren't trying to impose or like do the event themselves or like impose an idea on us. It was like it was really student led, so we're able to do that. I think that was really my highlight of my experience at NCC. And I think another really cool experience is how, like Josiah said, that they integrate faith and Christianity into every aspect of our lives. So I never thought that you could relate science and the Bible or math and Christianity. Like I never saw that before, but now I don't even need my teachers to point it out. I can now see that by myself. And I think that's really cool that I learned that at NCC. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that that has impacted you and helped you in your own personal faith and journey. Would you concur, Josiah, or what would be a highlight for you? What do you think of that question?
I would definitely concur. Yeah, I think she nailed it with that. A highlight for me,
Mhm.
um, great question. I had the unique opportunity to be a part of like a local student, and I lived on dorm.
Yes.
So even though I was Canadian and lived in Niagara Falls, St. Catharines, I still lived on dorm. So I
Yeah.
think that was a huge highlight because it was able to give me an opportunity to build deep friendships with the people who maybe I didn't spend that much time with or didn't really know too much about because
Mhm.
um, some you just don't really you might not cross paths, right? Different classes, different types of courses you might be taking. But yeah, I would say being able to understand different perspectives from international students, different types of struggles too that they might be facing with like homesickness too, and being able to become a dorm leader and being able to help with that and just see like wow, you are not only not struggling, I would say, but not only working through like coming to a different country, uh like studying abroad in a private school, but also having that feeling of like homesickness too, right?
Right.
um so I got to have a little bit more empathy and understanding for them too, so I think that was a highlight. um Also the trips, I really love the dorm trips to Toronto, to the Eden Center. Also some of the rec center activities too were really fun. I remember we did like a just dance thing too, where it was just chaotic and just a lot of fun. Yeah, so that was really amazing. What else? Oh, and the special events like worship night in the rec center.
Yep.
Um, that was student led too, and that was just one of the highlights that I looked forward to all the time. Even though we did worship chapel on Wednesdays, I believe, and then we
Mhm.
also had church on Sundays.
Mhm.
Throughout, we had some student led worship nights. Yeah.
Great. So yeah, I'd like to just speak into that just a little bit. There's two things. So we have talked a lot about the spiritual aspect of the school, and there are students that come to NCC. NCC is a Christian school, but it's not a prerequisite to be from a Christian faith background. There are students that come that don't know, or have a different faith background, and I would like to believe and that we are a community that is very welcoming and supportive of other students in their life. And as you said, Josiah, some students come with some struggles, and they come into dorm and they have some homesickness, or they're just searching for they're they're having some issues that they just need to work through. And so our staff, being this family-like environment, we are able to support and come alongside each individual student with where they're at and who they are. And we have a on-site health center. And now we have a nurse practitioner. And Josiah, maybe you're just going to have to come back and be our nurse practitioner on dorm. Um, and so we have a nurse practitioner, we have mental health counseling on site for those students who might need that type of support. And so when our dorm students feel a little bit ill or need the care of our nurse practitioner, we have somebody on site. But I just want to speak into that NCC is a caring environment for all students and from all faith backgrounds. But I'm very grateful that we are a supportive community in the walk of our students who have a Christian faith. And one thing that you both said is you were talking about student-led activities. And so the unique thing about NCC is because we are this tight-knit community, we do allow our students and we give them the opportunities to run these student-led activities. And that is a unique thing. And I think that's a highlight of our school. We have some really cool trips that we go on. We go on the Muskoka trip in the fall. It's a spiritual retreat. It's a Muskoka experience where students can get to know each other. We went on a missions trip to St. Croix. And we are going to do that again in 2025-26 school year. And we do some trips to Toronto, as you were saying, Josiah. So is there anything that you would add to that as far as just because we are maybe a smaller community that would be something that you wouldn't find like in a very large school and that you might miss out on in a big school, but we're able to offer here at NCC. Maybe Judith, I don't know if that question resonates with you as far as Keza, and she had a wonderful group of friends, and she was always very active, and maybe there's something that Keza really enjoyed with her friends while she was here. Maybe you could share about that.
No, she has told me a lot of many things that she has enjoyed with friends. But the most important thing that stood out was when they were organizing the fundraising. As leaders,
yes,
I think she was heading. They were heading the fundraising drive.
Okay.
And she was into it.
Yes.
She was into it a lot, and it was like it was coming from the heart, and the way she was doing it, I think it was not that that's how she can be, maybe that's how she is, but I think the school, I think you put in her that responsibility and she owned it, and you made her own it. Not that she was being pushed or what, but she owned it. And this is because of the school, the administration, the way you gave them that opportunity to own that event, and then it becomes successful. That one, and the way she was running up and down, and she says, I'm doing this, we are trying to see whether students will come and attend, and we want them to come and attend. I think it was like a dance or something, or whatever, they had some eats. And the way she was into it is because the way you gave it to her, to them, and they own it. This thing gave them I don't know how I can express it, but I think it teaches them, it gives them responsibility to be leaders, to be leaders and to be responsible for what good thing should be done. I don't know how I'm failing to express it, but that was the best thing that she told me, and I feel it was the best thing that she did also there at school. And I thank you that you gave her that opportunity to do it.
Yeah, and I do. I think Josiah wants to say something, but I do think that the school gives the students the opportunity to shine wherever they, feel led, and when they show an interest and they want to participate and they want to lead something. Maybe Josiah, you have something to share?
Yes, I think that was a great point, Judith. Like that was spot on, like absolutely. I think at that point, it's really crucial to be able to have that confidence. I think that's another thing that Judith was talking about. Have that confidence to be able to say, like, yes, this is exactly what I want to do, because this is a crucial point of our lives, right? We're deciding who we are, who we want to be, and where are we going to go next, right? And I think that NCC gave that to me by being able to, on like a dime, just say, okay, I'm going to go and explore BC on the other side of Canada, right? Because I was set ever since grade 9 to go to McMaster. I was like, that's where I'm going to go. That's the plan. That's where I'm headed. However, I just felt like I was called to BC, and I wasn't even going to apply to it. And when I spoke to the guidance counselor, they're like, "This is your life," and they're like, you like what?" I'm just trying to think of what Miss Peters said to me. She was like, "You've done all of these things. You will make the right decision." She's like, "Trust yourself," and and I don't know. She kind of like said like, you know what you're gonna do. Pray on it. You know what to do. Trust yourself. And I feel like because I had that confidence that NCC gave in me, I was able to do that. I wasn't afraid, and I was confident, and I was able to go out there and do it. And yeah, and looking back, I was like, oh my goodness, that's so scary. Like how was I even able to do that 17 years old? But I
Yeah,
think I had a really strong foundation that the school got me.
that's amazing. Thanks, Josiah. I know Orafiri is wanting to say something in as well.
Yeah, so I remember talking about the student leadership and like being given responsibility and the opportunity to shine. I think recently, I think towards the end of the school year, we had student-led chapels, and I had the opportunity and privilege to speak at one of the student-led chapels. And I remember going up there, Alex and Pastor Todd, they really helped, they really mentored me to prepare my sermon and what I was going to speak on. And I remember the week before I heard Finn speak, and I was like, if Finn can do this, I can do this, like seeing my fellow student up there, it gave me so much courage and confidence. And when I got up there, I was shaking, but I did it. And I mean, I've become so much more confident, and like I'm not scared to speak in public anymore. It's like it's such a cool experience that I got from doing that. So that
Oh,
was
that's
pretty cool.
awesome. Well, you did an amazing job, and for those who don't know, we have our chapel service on Wednesdays. It's about a 40-minute service. It involves music, an inspirational message, and just a time for the student body to be together. And so we do have a pastor that leads that, and a worship team if students are so inclined to sing or play. But then we also invite students to speak. And so we've had the privilege of hearing students like Orafiri and Finn Campbell and others share from their heart and combine what their personal journey is and as a student and what's happening in their life and what God is doing. And as you say, it gives you that confidence. It gives you that confidence to be in front of your peers and also just kind of you face this challenge and you defeat it, right? And it's a learning experience, and it's one that you will carry on into university and you will need in life, speaking that way. So that's awesome, and I'm glad that you brought that up, or Fury, that you enjoyed that and that was meaningful for you. I'm just scanning some of the other things that we were going to touch on, and we've touched on communication with parents. We've touched on EDSB. It's an online parent-student portal, so parents can remain in touch with what's happening at the school and communicate with teachers, and that is a daily thing that parents can do. And so I guess I want to ask this question of how did NCC or how is NCC currently preparing you for the future, or preparing your children, for Judith, for their futures? And so Josiah, you studied nursing at UBC in Kelowna, and you had the opportunity to go to Zambia.
Yes. Oh my goodness. That was such an experience. So I had the opportunity to go to Zambia, but just saying that sounds easy. And it wasn't an easy thing to get started to do, because going there and traveling is really expensive. So I never thought that I was going to be one of those people that were going to be able to do something like that, right? Because I didn't come from a well-off family. But NCC taught me that anything is possible, like through prayer and hard work. Because I didn't think I was going to be able to go to university. And NCC equipped me with different resources and different opportunities for me to get scholarships and just for me to push myself to believe that I could do it. So I used that same energy, that same mold, and applied it to this opportunity. So I reached out to my community, got a bunch of scholarships, and I got it paid for. And it was a lot of long process, a lot of presentations, and a lot of pleases. Uh, that opportunity in Zambia was probably one of the best experiences of my life. I learned so much from them. I learned about different tropical diseases. I learned about malaria and how to treat them. I learned their culture and how to speak a little bit of their language too. It was so great. So now I know a little bit of Salozi. I'll put it out there. Muzihili Chwani Nizili Hande. I'm a language enthusiast. So I love languages with a passion. And yeah, it was just such a great opportunity for me to be involved in. And I want to do some more global health initiatives too in the future. I'm looking to go to some rural and remote areas right now in Canada, and then hopefully just to expand that and go to different places. Because the thing about Canada is that we don't have that worry that we're not as funded for different diseases that are pertinent in our country. A lot of different diseases that are out there in the world, they're neglected because they don't have the funding or they just don't have that worldview eye on them. So I kind of want to get in there and try to figure out a different way to help that out and help. And yeah, so it was a really great experience. I learned so much, and yeah, and it was all because of NCC taught me that you can do anything, and you just need to really work hard, pray it out, and yeah, it will work out.
Well, congratulations. That's an amazing experience and a life-changing one, I am sure. So, and I have no doubt that you will face more and experience more with your ambition. So, and Orafiri, how, maybe you can just enlighten us on and how you would answer that question.
Yeah, of course. I think so. NCC has, I think, from the courses we take, the university preparatory courses. So they're kind of introducing us to that university type of learning, and that we have to do group projects and presentations, and write essays we don't really want to. So it's a really cool learning experience, and also I think NCC prepares us for the real world as well, because they're teaching us to serve and to lead and have confidence, and they do that through different things like serving in the school community and going on mission trips like to St. Croix. And yeah, they're definitely preparing us for the future, not just, yeah.
Yeah. So Judith, now tell me about Keza and what her plans are next year. Maybe you can tell us a little bit how NCC's prepared her for her next steps in post-secondary.
For sure, I want to assure you that I'm confident the way Keza is showing maturity. And I think there's no way I can say that maybe, yes, as a mother, I have done something a little bit small, but NCC has really added a lot of confidence in her. And wherever she goes, I'm not worried at all. She really acts maturely, and also knowing how to deal with the part of the Bible, and the way she reads the Bible, the way she puts it on her timetable, that this time I'm going to be reading my, she calls it, there's a way she calls it. And I feel that one also is a big step, that she will go further, and really knowing that it is only not him, the power from him, from her herself, but also, I mean, God is in front of her. And the way she's dealing with things, the way she's dealing with, she loves medicine. She says she wants to become a doctor at some point. And it takes a long time when she studies from either Canada or America. It takes longer than any other country. But she's confident. She says, "Mommy, I still have my time. I think I need to understand more and more of these things. And studying long time is not my problem." And I feel all this is confidence that she really learned from NCC. And what I want to assure you is that I'm not worried about her. The experience she got from NCC is good enough to take her anywhere.
Wow.
Anywhere without me. She can do it alone by herself because she was showed better ways of dealing with things. So I'm not worried at all.
Well, I do believe that's true of our staff and our administrators, that we instill academics, we instill responsibility, and all of that is very, very important. The drive, the rigor of academics, but then balancing that out with just the wholeness of the student. We really want to ensure that, there is a sense of wholeness and balance in the student's life. Academics is certainly very important, but there is a balance to whether it's an outlet, so whether that's a spiritual outlet or a hobby or an extracurricular. And so I guess my last question would be to the students that did you find that NCC was that, obviously we pressed for academics and the academic rigor, but there was the outlet, there was the balance of fun or extracurriculars or hobbies, and if so, what would that have been for you? Maybe Orafiri, do you want to answer that one?
Yeah, of course. So yeah, NCC was definitely there with the academic excellence, and I think they really gave us a medium to express, like to relax from
Mhm.
sports teams. So I was on a bunch of sports teams last year, basketball, tennis, ultimate, yeah, and it was really fun. It was another way to also connect with students outside of the classroom and like talk to people you don't usually talk to that maybe in a grade below you, or different things like that. And then there was also musical outlets. I was on worship team as well in chapel, so that was also a really cool opportunity. We played with the teachers as well, and it was really cool to see everyone just like relate on a different level that was not just academic. So it was pretty cool.
That's awesome. And yes, you have a beautiful voice and you have been a very involved student in the life of the school.
Thank
And
you.
what about you, Josiah?
Yeah, I definitely think that NCC does a great job of balancing academic rigor with just an outlet of any sorts. Personally, for example, when I was a local student, let's talk about local and then dorm.
Yeah.
When I was a local student, NCC had ASP, let's say. They had designed scheduled periods where you would have to focus on your academics or any life lessons, and it was mandatory. You had to attend. But then afterwards, there was opportunities to volunteer. There's opportunities for sports. Um, there's opportunities to just be involved. Like I remember every time on the announcements, they were like, if you want to be involved in this, or if you want to be involved in that, or if you want to go out for the sock mission with Gina,
Yes.
there's different opportunities for you there. And
Mhm.
as a dorm student, this is just a great example that happens every single day. There's study hall. Study hall is a mandatory 1 hour, no phones, and you need to put your head down. You can't talk too loud, and you gotta work hard. And at first, I hated it. I was like, well, I study by myself anyways, but it's it's a different type of studying. And now in retrospect, I look back and I'm like, well, I would have been on my phone. This provides me a lot of discipline that I carried on to university. It was part of the university prep. And
Mhm.
after study hall, you're able to reap your rewards and go to the rec center or go to the gym and have a fun time before you go to sleep. There's a lot of structure there. So I feel like NCC did a great job of balancing both.
Great. Well, our graduate report from the last number of years, as you may know, 100% of our graduates go on to university, the universities of their choice, so worldwide. And the top ones, UBC, that's a leading university, Ottawa, U of T, and one of our board members, Dr. Simon Tang, is also an academic advisor here at the school, and he's a U of T professor. So I think that you know, we do a very good job of the academic excellence and graduating our students off to the universities of their choice, but then also, you know, speaking into their lives in very meaningful ways as far as rounding out the student as a whole. And I think, you know, I thank you, Josiah and Orafiri, for sharing your experiences with us, and you know, really articulate. You've just been so articulate in sharing that. And Judith, thank you for joining us from Uganda. And you know, it's now going on 11 p.m., I'm sure. And so you know, just accommodating us and just sharing how NCC has been a big part of your family's life. And I know that we will stay in touch with you. I just had a family the other day come for a tour that mentioned your name. So, you know, I thank you for for continuing to spread the word. And yeah, I do thank you all for your time, because it's choosing the right school does make all the difference. And I do believe that when our students, children come to NCC, we are the right choice, and we provide the academics and the family-like environment to help equip the students. So thank you again for your time.
But I'm very proud that my children passed through NCC. And I'm telling you that even Keza was telling me yesterday that, Mommy, I'm missing NCC. It means that really NCC was so good for them.
She's welcome back anytime. So.
Okay, please. Yeah, for sure. And happy that you gave me this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you all. And until next time, I'll look forward to seeing you, Orafiri, in September. And Josiah, I look forward to hearing great things from you and in your career. And Judith, I'm certain I'll be in touch soon. So.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.